Now we're going to move on to our next wine that we're going to sample today as a sampling of Hudson Valley wines, and it's going to be the Millbrook Tokai Friulano. Now, Tokai is a grape that originated in northern Italy, and the Countess brought it over to Hungary when she moved over there and got married. And it's very interesting, as my family is from Hungary. My grandfather was born there, and they owned vineyards up in the Lake Bolaton region of Hungary, and they grew Tokai. And there's only in a few regions in the world that grow Tokai. Italy, Hungary, it's grown in New York, it's grown in California, and it's grown in Chile.
Wow, that's interesting.
And Millbrook does a great Tokai. I will say that Millbrook is located on the east side of the Hudson River. The Hudson Valley wine region is actually split. The Hudson River divides it. East side, west side. The wine that we previously tasted, the Chardonnay from Brotherhood. The champagne sparkling wine from Brotherhood was made from the Chardonnay grapes that were grown in Hudson, which is also on the east side of the river. So
that's interesting.
Yeah.
So here's another wine with indigenous grapes from the Hudson Valley, or indigenous that they're grown here, but from Italy. And the interesting thing, the owners of Millbrook also own winery in Tuscany and are involved in Italy. So I'm assuming that's how this grape got here, because you just don't see it too often.
It's grown in the Hudson Valley, and it's also grown in Long Island on the South Fork. That's really all I'm aware of where it's grown in New York State.
It's so interesting. And what else is interesting is your family's from Hungary, mine's from Italy, so they maybe didn't grow the wine, but they drank plenty of it. And I know, let's taste some of this, but I know from the Italian ones, which I drink quite often, they're crisp and clean and dry. So I'm so curious to try one from our region. And by the way, this wine, what's interesting reading about it, it was picked in mid-October, which is pretty late for our area. It's cold.
Yeah. What were the bricks when it was?
I think it was 22.7 bricks. So.
Oh, wow. And people that don't know what bricks are, it's the sugar level of the grape.
Yeah, when it's picked. Not in the resulting wine.
No, not in the
that
wine, but it's when it's picked. And usually grapes want to be picked around that brick level.
Yeah, that's perfect. That's probably why they waited so long in the season. They were waiting for enough sugar in those grapes to hit that level.
Right.
Which is quite an art, because you can lose the grapes too.
That's true, depending on the weather. If
Frost, the birds are hungry, and then there's less for them to eat.
And then there's the hurricane.
Yeah,
we're prone to hurricanes, so you have one drench of the rain, and then
there goes your harvest.
Everything, the berries all fill up with water, and you lose your flavors, and
Yeah.
So
he took a risk with this wine. So let's taste it.
Beautiful color.
Again,
nice straw, clear, crisp color.
It really is, and I'm noticing the previous wine too. The sparkling wine from Brotherhood was like that
beautiful too.
On the nose, if I was blind, I would say this is an Italian white on the nose. I'm getting like peach. Pear,
peach.
And a bright and clean.
Yes,
it's like
fresh.
A penetrating nose, but not over the top at all.
This is nice and well balanced too.
Wow. And this is the 2008.
A little acid,
I
but
think
not
this
a
is
lot.
great.
This is
The
beautiful.
acidity and the fruit are balancing perfectly.
Yes.
It follows through. It gives you that nice brightness on your palate.
A little acid on the back of your tongue. Nothing
And it ends with
strong.
that in the finish, which makes it a food wine in my mind.
I'm making scallop Santiago tonight. Maybe I'll have this with it.
I'm going to have to bring some of this to my Italian relatives. I would like to bring some of this back to Italy. Right? And drink it with them there in the region that this grows.
That is really nice. Nice, fresh, and clean. Your whole mouth just feels refreshed and clean when you're done with it.
And as I can tell from tasting it, and also because I read about the wine, there is no oak used at all. It's all stainless steel fermentation.
And I think that's what brings the crispness out in it.
And keeps that fruit pure.
And there's a little bit of red grapefruit I taste on the finish.
I get that too. And apricot.
Yeah.
A touch of apricot in it.
But the red grapefruit on the finish I get.
That's a good one. I like that. And I think that's what makes me like it. Maybe it'd be a good breakfast wine. Or at least in Europe when they drink wine at breakfast too.
Hey, I have breakfast for dinner and wine, so hey.
There you go. But this is really good, folks. And this is $14.99.
Oh, that's a great
I mean,
price.
this drink's more like an $18, $20 bottle to me.
Definitely, definitely. And it's great quality, once again.
Oh.
Made in the Hudson Valley, grown in the Hudson Valley.
Yes.
And, you know, you don't have to pick up the Hungarian or the Italian Tokai Friuliano.
You get it right locally. And when
Right.
people come from other regions, if you live in this area to visit, this is something to be proud of. This
Yes.
makes me proud to be
Yes.
from the Hudson Valley wines like
Absolutely.
this and the previous one.
Yes.